So the first thing I wonder about is how did it come about that you decided to train to be a family therapist? And
Because I studied social work in my undergraduate, and then I was looking to change a career away from pastoral ministry. And I started looking at programs for counseling, and I ran across some of these very interesting programs in family therapy. There were only about five or six of them in the United States in the early 1980s, and I got intrigued by the one at Texas Tech, and I applied and was accepted and went down there to study family therapy. So it was a major career change for me to move 900 miles away and take my family to a new state and start a new career. But it was the probably the best decision I made in that time of my life.
mm. So you were studying to become a family therapist? No, no, a social worker, or
Yes, and then I went
yeah.
into and got my divinity degree, and I
Mm.
worked in churches
Hmm.
for about 8 or 9 years.
Yeah,
And then I knew it was time for me to make a career change.
yeah.
But it was natural to think of people in their um, contexts rather than think of people as individuals only, because I saw the effects that family members and others had on folks who I did counseling with.
Hmm.
So I was drawn to family therapy, even though I didn't have a lot of background in it. And luckily, I went to Texas Tech that had a very strong systems orientation and got a wonderful education with some great professors and wonderful peers, many of whom I still have contact with on a regular basis at 30, 35 years later.
Okay, so you work in the work in the church that you did that put you on the on this track towards working with families.
Yes, it did, because when you're with people from birth to funerals
Hmm.
and performing weddings and working with people whose children are in trouble in school or in jail, it's pretty natural to begin to see that folks don't live by themselves. They live in context with people who care about them or sometimes create troubles with them in their context. So I was drawn to that back in my undergraduate days when I studied Virginia Satir and Don Jackson and some other people. But it really hit home when I was working in churches
Hmm.
that I needed to get additional training, and the family therapy route was the best one to take.